You gotta keep on breathing if you wanna make sense of it all. We will not fall.
We are going to start seated, but you can find whatever comfortable seat works for you. I'm actually going to kneel over a block, and it might be helpful to have a strap handy today. So sitting nice and tall, and try to keep the spine nice and long, and we can just keep the hands down onto the knees there, or palms face up if you like, or palms face down. Keep the eyes open. Take a soft gaze down at the mat or just out in front of you. And try to blur out the peripheral vision here and just focus on one single point of your gaze. And begin to come to some steady and slow breaths in and out through the nostrils. So just taking in how you feel today, taking in your morning already. And just let go for now what you have to come throughout the rest of the day. And really focus on you in this practice. You draw into your own flow state, that optimal performance of the function of your brain, being completely immersed in the task at hand, your yoga practice, physical movement, meditation, breath work, mindfulness. All the things that support and guide you through daily life. As your breath becomes slower, steadier, and more rhythmic, think about the breath being spinal, starting from the base of the spine on your inhale all the way up to the crown of your head. Breathe each and every vertebra along the journey. And as you exhale, take that breath back down from the crown of the head to the base of the spine, softening, relaxing, releasing tension, tightness. Spinal breath in, moment of pause at the top, exhaling out, moment of pause at the bottom. Just a couple more of those spinal breaths there. And releasing that breath, just soften out through the shoulders, through the neck. Start to move the body however it feels it needs to move this morning. You might like to circle the rib cage, the upper body, the spine. You might like to circle the shoulders, lifting one, lifting the other. You might like to release into the neck. Just after your night's sleep, do what feels good for the upper body. Most of this practice will be upper body flexibility, strength today. And then start introducing a cat and cow as you sit here. So dropping belly back, chin comes to chest. Inhale, pressing chest forward, pulling shoulder blades together. And exhaling into your cat, and inhaling into the cow. So you start to feel the shoulder blades broadening as you pull back, separating, and coming together as you lift the gaze. And then stay and hold in your upward gaze. Roll the shoulders there away from the ears. Make sure the shoulder blades are pulling down the back and you're lengthening up through the neck, lifting the chin but not compressing into the cervical vertebra there. Lift up through the abdomen, chest, heart space, and lengthen through the lower back. Nice and slowly, start the initiation into the abdomen as you start to pull the abdomen back. Round, round, round. And then the chin drops to the chest. Again, notice if the shoulders have crept up to the ears, pull them down, broaden them. Pull the belly back to the spine, pull the spine back behind you. Let the head drop a little bit more. And lengthen up. This time, bring the hands out into cactus. So tiny little pulses there. We're going to start to pull the shoulder blades up and down the back. So reaching fingertips up, you might go to a full stretch and you might go to a big pull lat down there. So imagine if you're in the gym and you had, these lat pull downs with weights. So imagine that you've got weight attached to the hands. And then introduce a clench of the fist as you pull down and stretching the fingers up. Good. Pull down, clench, inhale, reach up. Twice more. Notice shoulder blade movement. Good. Biceps, triceps. Good. And release. Let's take the hands in front of us. I'm going to come around to the side to show you this. This is protraction and retraction of the shoulders. So you can push the hands forward and back. So as they come back, shoulder blades are pinching together. And as they push forward, the shoulder blades separate from each other. And this would be what your plank or your handstands, anything like that would look like. And pulling back. So again, it's just simply shoulder blades protracting, retracting. And then release that. Give them a shake out. Well done. Let's come into our cat and cow from there. So finding that position. We just did it. So rounding the shoulder blades into cat. And inhaling, pulling them together for your cow. Using the breath that you started the practice with to round through each and every vertebra. And remember the movement of the shoulder blades there. Nice and slowly release the hips back into child's pose. Reach the fingertips forward as much as you can there. Lift up the belly away from the thighs. Create some space. Exhale. Let the head come down between the hands or onto a block. And you can keep the hands there if you like, or you might like to bring the palms together and place the thumbs at the nape of the neck, spreading out the elbows, placing weight into the elbows there. Breathing out. Softening into the child's pose and just here for one moment as you have your head connected in towards the earth, the third eye, the area of focus, intuition, insight, concentration. Think about what you want to get from your practice this morning to set you up for your Saturday and your weekend ahead. Nice and slowly release the hands forward and lift the hips. Come down into your melting heart pose. Keep the hips above the knees. Reach the fingertips to the front. Exhale, melt the chest down. So here, visualization helps. And imagine if you've got this big, heavy weight placed on your upper back between the shoulder blades. Notice the shoulder blades. Relax into the neck, soften through the chest. Keep breathing out to melt. Coming forward onto the forearms, find a forearm plank there for yourself. And again, these shoulders broaden across the back, lifting up through the upper back there, pressing the upper back towards the sky. You can keep the knees down, engage the abdominals, or you might like to tuck the toes, lifting the knees. Make sure the hips don't raise too high here as the shoulders, hips, and heels are in nice alignment there. Find the strength of that forearm plank. From there, lower the hips, keep the toes tucked if you can into a toe tucked sphinx. Just for 1 second, you're pushing back through the heels, dropping hips, nice and gently release a foot at a time, come into your sphinx pose. Make sure all 10 toes are touching the mat, the heels aren't rolling in towards one another, and the chest isn't caving. Opening up through the upper body, pressing into the forearms. Nice and slowly widen the elbows as you roll down, belly, chest. Head comes to the back of the hands, sway out through the hips. Take the right hand out to the side of you, choosing either your half cactus arm or your straight arm. And then the left hand comes by your left shoulder. Lying chest openers, releasing top leg and toe tapping. Ear stays down to the mat. You bring it back into the center. It's a 4 movements and then a hold. So number 3, toe tap. And number 4, hold. Nice and slowly roll back. Release the right arm by the hip just to soften into that right shoulder there. Nice. Changing arms. Left arm either in the cactus or straight out, which is the easier option for you. You find that what works. And then keeping ear to ground, toe tap, right leg across, bring it back into center. Number 4, stay and hold. Breathe. Try and give all the weight into that left chest, left shoulder, left arm. Bring yourself back in through the center. Release the left arm down by the body, palm face up. Soften into the tightness of that left shoulder if you felt that. And then release both hands out to the front of your mat. Palms are at the top corners of your mat. These are your seal ripples. So again, we do 3 and we hold on the 4th one. And each time the hands may come closer to the body. And try to remember, keep the ears away from the shoulders. Slow ripples up with the inhale. Slow ripple down with the exhale. Move the hands in a little bit closer each time, and they could just come in an inch. Maybe the arms straighten. Maybe they Stay bent, coming up into your last seal and staying and holding. Dropping shoulders away from ears, keeping chest nice and open to the front of the mat. Beautiful. Drop the hips and pelvis, draw the abdomen back. Nice and slowly. Roll down, belly, chest, head to hands, big toes touch, sway out. Press back through tabletop. Round the spine, release into cat and cow. Right leg comes out to the side of you. And if you can, try to get those toes facing forward. Leg is in line with the hip. It doesn't come too far forward or too far back. And we're going to lift up left arm up towards the sky and then thread that through, reaching towards the toes. If your shoulder doesn't quite meet the mat, maybe use a block there and you can reach the right arm forward. Draw navel in, open through the right side of your body. Rest on the temple of your left side of your head. Nice and slowly bring the right hand back to lift you up. And the left arm lifts up, opening a bit more. Make sure you ground through that right foot and release the hand down. Change sides. I have to turn over to the other side to do that. Left leg goes out to the side. Right arm lifts up this time and threads through and under towards the toes. Draw the shoulder down, draw the ear and the temple down and reach the left arm forward of the mat if that feels good. Try to press into the top of the foot and the ankle of your back right leg. Bringing the left arm back to give you some support to press up. Lifting right arm up to the sky. Press the back of the hand away and hand and leg. Come back into center. Circle out through the hips. Let's come to our kneeling salutations, right and left. Let's get into hip flexors, quads, glutes, hamstrings. So rolling down, chin to chest, slide out, heart pose on your exhale breath. Inhale, come to your forearm plank. Exhale, lower the hips, release to the tops of the feet into Sphinx. Exhale, roll down. Inhale, seal lift. Exhale, roll down, press back through tabletop. Release back through child's pose. Roll the hands back to the body. Come up to the high kneel. Take the hands to the base of the spine. Draw the elbows together. Open up into baby camel. Bring yourself center. Hands come down. Right foot. Nice low lizard. Just give yourself some movement there. We're starting to get into the legs. So move left and right. Come down onto the forearms if you like. And if the forearms don't quite meet the mat, use the blocks or a bolster. Nice and slowly coming back up onto the fingertips. Left hand stays where it is on the mat. Right arm sweeps back. Opening up the chest, sinking hips deeper. Maybe you take the back foot into the hand, open up. Got a quad stretch going on there, so nice and slowly into that one. Dropping onto the left thigh if you can, rather than kneecap. And release the hands. Bring yourself back into center and bring the hips back into half monkey. Right leg comes into the center of the mat. Lengthen the spine, long, flat back. Exhale, fold over. Take a few breaths there. Lift up as you inhale. Visualization of the chest coming towards the toes. Exhale a little deeper. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, go a little deeper. Reach the fingers past the foot. Draw the toes back towards the shin. Nice and slowly, hands come on the inside. And the right leg sweeps all the way back into your sunbird or tiger. Variations of names, of course. I call it tiger, but somebody else will call it sunbird. Press the foot into the hand. Lift the chest. Look forward. And nice and slowly release to tabletop. Release to child's pose. And roll up through the spine for the left side. Drop chin to chest. Exhale out, heart pose. Inhale, forearm plank. Exhale, lower the hips. Release to the tops of the feet for Sphinx. Lower down as you breathe out. Bring yourself up into seal, breathing in. Lowering down, pushing back to tabletop, breath in. And exhale, breath out, child's pose. Roll up through the spine to a high kneel. Inhale, camel. Exhale, hands come down. Left leg steps forward. Find that lizard. Give yourself that movement, left and right, moving the hips, whatever feels good. Staying upright, coming down onto the blocks or forearms, making sure that the shoulders are level here. So if you're only bringing the right shoulder down or the right forearm, maybe you need a block. So making sure shoulders are level, pelvis is level. Coming back up onto the fingertips, dropping hips, opening chest. Right hand goes down to the mat. This time, left arm sweeps back. Open up the chest to the side of your mat. And maybe take hold of that right foot. Try to get on the fleshy part of the thigh there rather than the kneecap. Pad out the knee if you're on a hard surface. Drop the hips a little bit more towards the mat. Nice and slowly release the foot carefully. Pull the hips back in line with the knee and bring that left foot into the center of your mat for your half splits. Lengthen spine, flat back. Imagine the chest is going way forward of the toes. Exhale over, dig the heel in, pull the toes back towards the shin. Inhale, lift up and lengthen. Exhale, release and fold. Inhale, lift up and lengthen. Exhale, release and fold. Inhale, lift up and lengthen. Last time there. And exhale, release and fold. Hold, breathe, soften into that hamstring stretch. And hands come on the inside of that left foot as you sweep the leg all the way back around. Opening up, chest, hip, right hand takes left foot. Press the foot into the hand, opening up through the right chest, right shoulder. Good. Nice and slowly release. Take it back, wide leg child's pose. This time to close out those kneeling salutations. Exhale, melt. Soften into the breath. Start to walk the hands back. Stay with your wide knees and come into reverse prayer. Sweep the hands back and place the hands between the shoulder blades or at the base of the spine. Relax the shoulders away from the ears here. Notice if the shoulders are pinching together or if they're nice and broad. And release the hands and just release the wrists, circle through. And let's come into a little bit more movement with the legs. So tucking toes and lifting up into your bent-legged downward facing dog. Pedaling out through the feet. Just getting into the back of the legs, into the feet. Looking underneath an armpit to give yourself a twist. And when you feel ready, releasing both heels together, lengthening them down towards the back of the mat. They do not have to touch the mat. Pressing chest back towards the thighs. Let the head relax between the biceps. Crown of the head reaches down towards the mat and you're strong through your shoulders here. So remember that protraction, retraction work that we did right at the beginning and also in the tabletops. Now notice what the shoulder blades are doing. Are they spread? Are they pinching together? Give the shoulders a little bit of work in your down dog. Yes, exactly. Nice and slowly looking forward to the hands, walk the feet to the center of your mat and then take the feet hip width as you relax down into a forward fold or a dangle. So get the belly, the chest, all the way down over the thighs. Let the head release. Take hold of your elbows and just soften into that fold. Take a moment to breathe out and lifting the sit bones up towards the sky. Trying to keep the belly and the chest connected to the thighs. And then just coming to a half lift with blocks. So having two blocks out in front of you, don't necessarily need the blocks, but it does help this little half bend exercise and into L-shaped folds. So again, just find that position with the fingertips or the palms. You might prefer the palms onto the highest level. Try to find an L shape here. So make sure the weight is into the toes. Heels feel nice and light. You're lifting the heels up and down. Up and down. Good. So lifting up onto tiptoes. Good. And reaching the heels down. Keep the chest nice and lifted away from the blocks. It's not caving. And release heels. Bend the knees, send the knees towards the blocks and drop back the hips. So you're in a nice deep squat. Try to keep the chest and the thighs together. So fingertips might be light here and you're in this squat. Start to reach the hands in front of you, forward of you. Fingertips reach forward, biceps, ears drop between the biceps. Now hold the squat. Reach long. Good. Nice and slowly. Press the hips up. Keep the L-shaped bend, straightening into the legs. So yeah, you might have gone a little bit too deep there. So that's it. Yeah. Good. So only to the point where you feel that you can then squat and straighten. Squat and straighten. Nice. Good. Good. Twice more. Whew, deep work there. And release. Hands down. Give the spine a little move out. Give the legs a shake. And let's take our time to bring the hands to the thighs and come to stand. Whew! Feel okay? All right, let's do a little warrior sequence here. So we're going to do warrior one, humble warrior, and then we're going to come to our eagle balance. So right foot stays in front, left foot comes behind you. And before you start bending into the front knee, just make sure that the feet are in a comfortable position for your warrior one. And then bend into the front knee, lift the hands. Find the position for your hands here. Maybe the palms are together. Maybe you're interlacing the fingers with your Vira Mudra. Index fingers are reaching up. Draw the abdomen in. Try not to arch into the spine. Straight back leg is straight. Sit, really push into your back heel. Yeah. And humble warrior here. Actually, no, before we do that, we do our waves, our spinal waves. So 3 of these spinal waves, reaching forward and opening up. Good. Reaching forward, don't have to come too deep. And lifting up. Good. 3 times. Reaching forward, lifting up, and then the hands interlace behind the back. Open the chest, press the knuckles down the back thigh, fold yourself forward into humble warrior, and the right shoulder comes on in the inside of your right knee, and you lift the arms up towards the sky. Soften the hips a little bit more as you bend into the front right knee. You might need to widen your warrior. Drop the right shoulder a little bit more. Nice and slowly release the hands and lift back up into your warrior one. From your warrior one, we're going to step forward to the top of your mat. Right leg is your stabilizer. Left leg comes across for eagle. So eagle legs, left leg in front, right arm on top. Find eagle. You don't have to take the left foot off the mat. You can just work with the arms. Keep lifting elbows up, shoulders down, fingertips rise, and slowly release and come to stand. Take a moment to soften through the shoulder blades, soften through the spine and the legs. Left leg in front, right leg behind. Again, make sure that you find the perfect distance for your feet before bending into the front knee, dropping hips forward. Draw the abdomen in. Inhale, then the arms come up to wherever they need to be, whether the palms are facing one another, shoulder width apart. That's it. Back leg is straight. Push back through the heel. Front leg bends. Lifting chest, lifting gaze. Beautiful. Nice and slowly then we do the ripples. Exhale, ripple forward. Inhale, ripple open. Good. Make sure you still keep the bend in that left leg when you pull back into the back bend. Opening chest, opening shoulders. Last time, 3 there. Hands drop down. Interlace the fingers with the other index finger on top. Feels weird. Press the knuckles down, open the chest, bend a little deeper, and then fold into humble warrior. Left shoulder this time comes on the inside of your left knee. Maybe you widen the warrior a little bit here. Slowly reach the arms back, come up to warrior, and prepare to step forward. So right leg crosses over left thigh. You can wrap it around the back of the calf if you like. This time, left arm comes on top of your eagle arms. Lift the elbows, shoulders drop down, spine as long as you draw the abdomen in. Good, reach the fingers up. You might have a single or a double wrap there for the eagle arms, or maybe the palms and the elbows just stay together. Doing great. Breathe. Yes, it starts the heart working a little bit faster. And nice and slowly release the arms. Release the legs. Take a moment to stand. Breathe. Drop shoulders. Notice how the upper body is starting to now feel the strengthening work, also the flexibility work, and the releasing work. Staying in the center of your mat. Inhale, the arms up. Exhale, melting, folding into your forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Fingers might come to the mat or to the shins. And exhale, bend the knees, step back the right leg to the back of the mat, step back the left leg, find your downward facing dog. Take a moment to breathe there, then we're going to come forward into plank. So coming into plank pose, you can always drop the knees here and work with the kneeling plank, but broaden across the shoulders, push away from the mat. Keep the hips, shoulders, and heels in a nice alignment. Hips aren't dipping too much and they're not too high. Holding, breathing. Nice and slowly, now lower the knees. Now lower the chest and the chin to the mat. Release out all the way. Inhale, roll the shoulders away for cobra. And exhale, roll down and pull yourself back to child's pose. Bring the hands by the side of the body, by the hips. Exhale, melt the chest down. Take a moment to breathe. And roll up through the spine, come to kneeling. Good, how are you feeling? Take a moment there just to feel shoulders, upper back, chest. Notice if there's any weakness or still any tightness where, you might have found some strength here. We are coming to dolphin. So dolphin is on our forearms. And here we can have the forearms out in front of us with the palms out, or you might like to interlace the fingers again and just push down through the knuckles. I quite like that variation. It doesn't seem as strong for me, but try both. With a dolphin, it's like a downward facing dog. So we're going to tuck the toes, lift the hips, and then the crown of the head reaches down to that space between the elbows. Look back towards the toes. Keep pressing into the hands and the forearms. Shoulders are strong. Start to walk the feet inwards. Lifting up the hips. Trying to get the hips above the shoulders. Nice, doing great. And then just teeter on the toes. And slowly release down. Take that child's pose. Once more. Rest out. Roll up to kneeling. We're going to take a camel pose here and then come back into that dolphin for one more go. So find your camel variation, and maybe that is with the blocks by the feet if your hands don't quite meet back towards the heels. So you can, of course, use the hands at the base of the spine to support the camel. That's always an option too, but find what works. Open chest, open gaze. Find the breath. That's it. Push the pelvis forward. Lovely. And come out. Well done. Kneel down. Take a moment's rest. One more dolphin, then we start to slow things down. You'll be pleased to know. So when we still work with shoulder flexibility, we still need the strength in the shoulders, and the down dogs, the warriors, those provide the strength as well. So choosing your option, maybe try the other option this time. If you tried the interlace of the fingers, try the arms out in front. Same principle, tuck the toes, lift the hips, walk the feet towards the body, and teeter on the toes. And maybe this time you lift a leg at a time. I kicked up and hit the roof of the loft. Nice. And slowly lower. Take that child's pose once more as the hands come back to the heels. Soften chest down over the thighs. Few deep breaths. Roll up through the spine. Well done. And let us swing those legs around in front of us. Let's find a spinal twist. So right leg crosses over, Ardha Matsyendrasana. And you might like to take the left leg back as well. Make sure that you drop both sit bones down towards the mat, so you're sitting equally, and then turning towards your right leg. Find your twist. Twist towards me. You got it. So make sure the belly is free of that thigh. You're dropping into the right hip there, lengthening through the side of the body, lengthening through the spine. And just look forward for a moment to the front of the mat. Open the chest out just a little bit more. Pull the right shoulder back. Good, yeah. And not too much weight goes into this backhand. You could take it off. It's just there to give you a little bit of leverage. So now we come forward. Start circling the hands back around you. Keep turning, lifting both legs, keeping hips lifted, and turning around all the way to the other side with the left leg in front. Rounding through, left foot, left big toe. Get the belly out of the way, drop into the left buttock, and elbow comes over the knee, or you give yourself a hug. So first of all, the head looks back over the shoulder, and then the head gently looks towards the front of your mat, opening up through the left shoulder just a little bit more, opening chest to the side of your mat. Really feeling the spinal twisting there, the rotation through each parts of the spine. And let's do that little twist all the way back. So keep turning, hands come behind you, legs lift, hips lift, twisting round, back to the front, and send the legs out in front of you. Good. Sit on your sit bones here, lifting up the arms. And 4 of these reaches up and over towards the feet. Sweep the arms back. Inhale, lift. Reach up and over. Twice more, the last one we come to stay. Lifting up. And again, visualization helps here as the hands come way past the feet. And this is the last time of that set. We go up, we reach over, we breathe out, and we stay. So a lot of back bends through the practice, not too much forward folding apart from our L-shaped bend and the folds when we were standing. So now really let the head relax down towards the thighs, knees, or shins. Make sure that you've given yourself as much space between the belly and the thighs as you can. You've given yourself as much space underneath the fleshy part of the buttocks. Breathe into the back of the legs, into the spine. And slowly roll up through the spine. And then bring the right leg in towards the thigh. Twist a little bit to the side of your mat so that you're almost facing diagonally on. This is where we're going to open up through the opposite side of the body. So reaching up and over towards the leg. It's a side body stretch. Make sure this shoulder doesn't creep up towards the ears. You might use a strap here. You might take hold of the foot. Try not to drop the chest forward, but roll the chest open, and maybe the gaze goes up towards the sky. Good, lovely. Reach the fingers towards the toes. Good. And then from here, we open it out. The hand comes back behind us and we simply roll up onto the front knee into that half wild thing. As we open up that left arm, circle it all the way around. Big circle of the shoulder. Do a couple of more of those. They're great openers. Lovely. So reach the arm in front of the face. It goes behind you. It opens out. And drop back down. Lift the knee, bring it forward, and change sides. Left leg comes in towards the thigh. Twist the torso a little bit towards the diagonal, so facing the side of your mat, and then reaching up and over towards the extended leg with the top arm. Try not to lift the shoulder up towards the ear too much on that left side, and reach up and over. Nice and slowly release the left hand down to the mat. You roll up onto the left knee. The right arm sweeps in front of the face. It goes back behind you. You're drawing a big circle. Do a couple more, pushing pelvis forward, opening chest to sky. It's a baby wild thing. And then nice and slowly bring yourself back to seated. And give yourself a big hug over your thighs. You can widen the feet, drop the hands down towards the ankles, soften through the head and the neck. Nice and slowly unroll through the spine and continue to roll down. So draw the belly back in towards the spine, bring the feet into parallel, keep rolling each and every vertebra. The last thing to come down, you're controlling this, is the back of your head, and then take a moment's rest in full Shavasana there. So arms out to the side, legs are long, let everything release out. Few deep breaths just to settle the heart rate, and gently draw right and left knees in towards the chest. So massage as much as you can here through the spine, circling the knees one way and the other, and make sure that you massage into the shoulders. So even lying down, you can really dig the shoulder blades in, massaging. Maybe you lift the head a little bit so that you get into the upper and the middle back. Feel the sides of your body as you're massaging. And then place the soles of the feet down onto the mat. Hands come by the hips. Let's come into our pelvic tilts up towards a final bridge of hold. So simply lifting pubic bone and rolling down. Drawing tailbone back underneath you. Drawing navel in. Pushing pubic bone up. Lowering down. Pulling tailbone back underneath. Cat and a cow in reclined positions. Make sure the shoulders are nicely spread out. They're not pinching together. And pushing into the palms, pushing into the feet, come up all the way into your bridge pose. Lengthen the thighs and knees away. Push the pubic bone up, lift the hips, glutes are engaged. You're rolling the shoulders underneath you. And here you might interlace the fingers and get those shoulders a little bit more underneath for a higher bridge. Feet are underneath the knees. Thighs are pulling towards one another, hip width. Slowly roll down, release the hands. Each and every vertebra comes down to the mat. Return back into neutral, and then extend the legs along the mat. Take a moment to rest in full Shavasana. Bring the knees in towards the chest. Again, return back to that massaging. And this time, open the knees and start to gain a little bit more mobility into the hips. Circling knees outwards and inwards. And then placing soles of the feet together into butterfly. You can use blocks to support the thighs if you need. Lift the arms up above you into cactus. Spread the shoulder blades out. Make sure the middle back is still connected. And see if you can get the elbows and the backs of the hands and the wrists down onto the mat. See where that flexibility comes for you. Soften into the hips. Let the knees become heavy. And keeping the arms in cactus, lift the right knee and just roll it over onto the left knee. Keep the shoulder blades connected. We're pulling those knees and thighs away from us. Right shoulder blades still connected. Open up through butterfly. Shoulder blades still stay connected. Left knee crosses over towards the right. Draw down left shoulder blade. And extend the knees and thighs away from you so you get a really nice stretch coming down through the spine and the outer hip. And then gently open up back into butterfly. Hold for a few breaths. Release the hands to the abdomen. Soften through the shoulders. Release the hands to the thighs. Lift the legs together. Place the soles of the feet wide. Let the knees rock in towards one another and soften everything here to relax. Your choice here, either an active, dynamic fish pose, or you might like to use the blocks. I'm going to go for the active, dynamic variation. So the hands come underneath the buttocks, thumbs touch underneath you and the palms are face down. You extend the legs and then bring the elbows underneath you to push the body away from the mat. Good. Open up through the chest. Make sure the chest isn't caving towards the shoulders. Use the strength of your forearms and of your elbows and shoulders here to push the chest up, up, up. Gaze might just go to the sky, or it looks along the body. If you want a little bit of core work, raising the feet just a few inches away from the mat. Breathe. Matsyasana, fish pose. Lower the legs and roll down, lower the body, release out into Shavasana. Take a few moments there. Heart rate might have increased a little bit, so just settle down the breath and the heart rate, and then draw the knees in once more. Sway, circle out. Take the legs and the arms up towards the sky into your dead bug. So fingers, wrists in line with shoulders. Make sure the shoulder blades are spread here. The middle back is pressing down. Toes, ankles, and hips in alignment. You can always soften and bend into the knees. Reach the fingers up so you pull the shoulders away from the mat. Your shoulder blades round. Reach, reach, reach. Someone's pulling your fingers away, and then roll those shoulder blades down. So do that twice more. Reach up, pull the shoulder blades away, and roll them down. Lift up and pull them down. Circle through the ankles, rotation, pointing, flexing. Move the wrists, flexing the wrists, stretching, clenching fists, and draw the knees in. Roll and massage out. And let's come into final relaxation in Shavasana. Make yourself warm, make yourself comfortable. Take the legs long. You might have a bolster underneath the knees or the knees bent. Arms are out to the side of you. Palms are face up. You might have an eye pillow here, or you just gently close the eyes or turn the lights off above you. But for the next few minutes, this is your reward. This is where your body, your mind replenish one another from the practice. Maybe you found challenge. Maybe you found strength, flexibility, release. And I will leave you for these moments of silence here in your relaxation. Beginning to take a few deeper breaths now, bringing your awareness back into your surroundings, onto the mat and into the body. Start by moving fingers, wrists, toes, ankles, head and neck. You might like to stretch, or you might like to draw the knees in and just continue out with that rolling and that massaging of the back and the shoulders. Taking time to roll over to your right side, bringing yourself back up to a comfortable seat. Bring the hands into the heart center, Anjali Mudra, as you sit nice and tall once more, where we started the practice. Feeling the shoulders dropping away from the ears. The neck is lengthening, the crown of the head is rising. Notice how now you feel after the practice. Return to that steady inhale and exhale, spinal breath. And as you're breathing through your upper body, your torso, your spine, remind yourself of your intention when you were in child's pose, as your focus, your concentration, your insight and intuition, and the benefits that you wanted to receive from this practice. Always thank yourself as I thank you.